coming to an end tonight. Talk about what your time in the NPF has meant to you.
Okay, so don't cry. It's been an amazing experience. From the very first time I stepped on the field as a Bandit till this very moment now, like it's just, I've just grown, not just softball-wise, but, you know, I've just maturity-wise too. And as far as softball goes, I mean, if it wasn't for the NPF and it wasn't for having such a great owner, Bill, I mean, I never would have had the opportunity to grow as much as I have. And I mean, I've just had so much fun, and it's had so much to do with the person that I am today. So I had a great career. It's been so much fun.
So how do you adjust to life after the Bandits then?
I don't know. I've never done it. I think it's going to be a hard transition, but also an easy transition. I mean, I'm looking forward to what life has to offer outside of softball. And, I mean, I'm still going to be a big part of it. I coach at West Valley, and I'm going to be able to give my full attention to my girls and kind of work on building a new career as a coach. Yeah.
Maybe they'll have an old-timers game in about 10 or 20 years you can come back and play in?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Are you?
No, absolutely. I mean, Kaylani and Kat, they're fantastic pitchers. I mean, I don't know if you guys are watching the game, but they're pretty darn good. So, you know, we were pumped up the whole time, and, you know, every time we've played them this year, it seems like it's gone down to the end. I mean, the regular season, you know, that came down to the very last game. We knew it was going to be a fight coming into it, and, you know, they got one more across than what we did. So, but kudos to them. They're a great team. They're a great team. You know, we always, before the game, you know, and that's the thing with softball, we're so secretive with who's pitching. You know, with baseball, it's like you got like the whole 5 days of pitchers lined up, you know, but we're in the locker room, we're like, oh, I bet we're going to see Kaylani, oh, I bet we're going to see Kat. So, I mean, yeah, you're kind of in the coach's head and kind of playing coach yourself, and we knew that we were going to see both of them. So, yeah, we anticipated it.
What did you think about starting Monica in game one and then also bringing her in the bullpen in game two? Or what was your strategy in terms of lining up your rotation?
I gave it thought. I mean, when we left here last night, I thought we were in good shape with all our options. I mean, Andy's thrown great against them all season. Misha's thrown great against them all season. Mani obviously is Mani. And, you know, I felt comfortable going with Andy. She's a big game pitcher. She showed it in regionals in college. And she's Rookie of the Year for a reason. I mean, she's pitched great against the Pride, and, you know, one or two pitches, the pitch to Duran that, you know, wasn't in the spot. And, you know, in a game like this, one pitch makes a huge difference. You know, one play makes a huge difference when you're scratching and fighting for any run. But, you know, as far as, you know, going with Andy and then Mani tonight, you know, that was all season. I tell these guys I trust them. You know, we've gone with so many different lineups, people in different spots, you know, one person here or there in a pinch hit, or one person coming in to a relief appearance for one batter. And, you know, I tell them from day one, be ready for anything. And the 19 of them have done a fantastic job all season of doing that. And it was no different tonight. You know, we had two different lineups out there, and, you know, Andy a couple pitches away from being really good tonight.
Well, I think that a lot of it goes into, I have a job in the off season, and right now I don't know, which is, it's tough. I mean, you never know. And I just really, really hope that this league takes off and that people aren't faced with this decision, because it's tough. You know, I mean, you got to make a living. But what I love is that we were talking about this the past few nights. I mean, we've had sellout crowds. You know, it's getting there, and I think that we're taking the right steps. And that's just what I want to see. I want to see people do this all year.
What's your job, Amber? What is your other job?
Sales, actually. So I work for Total Control Sports. He has a weighted hitting ball for baseball and softball, so it's awesome because I get to stay in the industry. And if you want to buy Total Control balls, call me up.
Yes.
Can you not do both of those jobs?
It's kind of getting to the point where the company is really taken off. And I was one of the first salespeople that he hired, and he kind of wants me to take over that portion of the company. And business-wise, I mean, it's great. It's a great opportunity, but I'm still a kid on the field, man. I don't want to grow up, so it's kind of getting to that point where it's one or the other. So just gotta figure it out.
When you play at this level too, it takes a lot to stay at this high caliber and to do both. That's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
You've seen Cat over so many years. Is there a difference you put a finger on this season compared to last season?
Yeah, Kat had a great season this year. She's definitely stepped it up this year than the last couple of years. So, Kat, I mean, what can I say? She definitely had a good year.
Let me ask this about the future of the NPF and the future of softball. Are you guys going to be working along with Jenny to promote softball's inclusion in the Olympics?
I mean, we'd be willing to do anything that it takes. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the sport that we love. I mean, we grew up playing it. I started playing when I was 4, so I've played for 23 years. That's a huge part of my life. I'd be more than happy to do whatever I can to hopefully take that step. Yeah, definitely. I think both of us would. Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Whoever wants us to join. Yeah. We'll help whoever. Do it. Absolutely.
When Jenny was here, she was talking about that, about having everybody involved. Do you see the sport without the Olympics reaching the levels that you think it's poised to set up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is, definitely. And I mean, as far as, especially these last 3 years for me, like the steps that softball has taken through the NPF is huge. I mean, it's growing. This league is growing, and it's going to continue to grow.
Well, and realistically, I mean, we haven't been, we were in the last Olympics, and honestly, this sport continues to grow without it. I think that with it, it would be, it would grow, it would have the ability to grow even more, but the exciting thing is that we are still growing, and this league is still growing. So, in the United States, everybody loves softball. I mean, so that's what's exciting about it. We would do whatever it takes to be able, to fight for it being in the Olympics, but it's still growing here. We got a good thing going.
What makes it grow?
I mean, getting our games on ESPN this year was huge, and the younger levels, having those younger level kids. I mean, more and more kids are playing softball, competitive softball, and I mean, that kind of stuff is big. We've had a lot of coverage. What was it? The WSN did interviews with us, and I mean, it just takes one person to come out and see a game and they're hooked. My fiance told me last night that he was talking to someone that said he has driven by this field a number of times, and he finally came to a game on Friday, and he was hooked. So it's just, people get hooked. They love it. They love the players. They love the competitiveness, and it's just fun.
I think it's also the increased awareness of the NPF. I mean, this is my 5th year in the NPF, and this is truly the first year, and Rosemont's great to us, but this is the first year that I will walk into a 7-Eleven not even wearing Bandits. They'll be like, oh, hey, you guys did great this year. I was downtown in a Jewel, and this guy was like, oh, you play for the Bandits? And I'm like, what? Like, that's cool. You know what I mean? And that's what tells me that it's growing. And people love it. They really do. So we just need, keep it rolling.
Yeah.